Wow, a trio of people that have not podcasted together about this season talking about the finale of this season. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. It's like we haven't been a part of this together for the whole time.
And honestly, I think I'm the one that's been here the least.
True. I haven't.
Anyway. Hello, uglies, and welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. I am currently just drinking on some water because hydration is incredibly important. But if I don't drink out of mine, but you could drink out of a cup mug, potentially, hypothetically, maybe. And guess what? We all have one!
Yes! Shout out to my baby David, who I consider this like my early Christmas present. But
yes, God.
David was like, I want to get you a cup mug. And I was like, thank you.
I love it.
And the direction
too. 4
too.
Different people, and I live. Yeah. I was gonna say, Brandon and I are sporting the OG cup mug, and Eve is sporting cup mug 2.0. Twice the logo, twice the fun. And you can get yours at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link is in the description below, and we do ship domestically within North America and internationally, so there are no excuses unless you're in a country where there are some excuses. Then there are some excuses because there are excuses because there are some excuses. Yes, God.
The excuses are excusing, so I love that.
Period.
Mm-hmm. I am Brandon, your professional fangirl of Monsters, Dragon video games. I have half a water bottle left, but also because I need it, breaking the fourth wall, it is 7 p.m. and I am drinking coffee.
Lord Jesus.
So it's an iced latte from Dunkin'. And I've got the brown sugar cookie and oat milk.
So. Period.
It's 7 p.m. Monday. It's 17 degrees. It's that was a Glorilla.
Yep.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. What's happening? It's Eve the Bunny. You know who it is. Your Chicago drag icon, maven, everything, and Queen of Ivy Park. I'm wearing the Ivy Park. Oh God, this was from the Drip 2.0 drop, which is actually, this is the first Ivy Park drop that I ever bought anything from. Yeah, so this one is a little nostalgic to me. It's a little camel crop hoodie with matching pants. It is very cold here in Chicago, and my apartment is very drafty, and I'm now learning I need a space heater. So as of right now, I am sequestered in my room of baths. Mm-hmm. In that room, that is where I have a space heater that's built into the wall. So I am sitting in front of that. It is lovely and warm. I also have me a nice big bowl of pozole. Because I work at a Mexican restaurant and it's cold, baby. So they have this in stock in the back. Like, we're feeding the kids. So I was like, let me take like 4 of these home. So I've been eating pozole for the past 2 days and it's been giving me my entire life. And then I'm also drinking green tea out of my cup mug.
Throwback to the OG cup mug theme song, but
I always like that theme song.
I literally came up with that out of my ass one day. Like I just started doing it and then it stuck, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'll take that. Thank you.
Period.
But yes, we are here. Dragula season 666 is over.
EROVER.
We have a new super monster. We will talk about it. I'm going to say right off the bat, I, for one, am thrilled.
Yes, same.
I would have been happy with any of the available options winning this season. Let me make that very clear before we start. So, How we've done this entire season is doing a recap and a look over here separately. It don't make no sense to do that today because the episode was literally just filler and stories.
I was literally sitting there like, do I need to skip past all of this and go straight to the floor show? Or is anything going to actually come up that's going to be of some merit?
No. So we're just going to do one cute little episode today to wrap up this season and be done with it, even though it's been a very good season. And we're going to talk about all of the things. I think it's been a good season.
Yeah, I agree.
And we're going to talk about all those things. But before we do, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag. And make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, and our Patreon for exclusive content and early access, including early access to most of the Look Over Here episodes for the franchises we are currently covering when we do them. Not this one. So, we are down to our top three. It is Auntie. It is Grey Matter. It is Asia. And I wasn't here last week, so I'm going to take a moment right here to say Miss Yuri and her extermination scene, the single most iconic extermination of all time. The way I gooped, I gagged, I screamed, and I threw up. Like, thank you, Boulets. Thank you, Boulets.
I will say,
I'm not getting murdered.
And it's something I noted on throughout the course of the reactions. The reviews. You have not been here for them, so you did not know. But you could have still watched them on YouTube. So, but still.
And I did.
For me, honestly, I would have to say a lot of the exterminations, I like to say this. Let me just circle back. I like to say this jokingly. The Boulets love to tell us that the $100,000 comes directly from them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that I know this the most when I watch the episode because you can tell they took some shortcuts. I'm like, I feel like y'all had to cut some coins somewhere so you can make sure you still had enough money for that $100,000. It's almost like, it makes me feel like they produced the show and had $99,000. And we're like, wait a minute, we're still $1,000 off. Where can we cut throughout this? These exterminations were the most copy and paste, like Microsoft Windows 95-esque type.
I agree.
I was like, who did this? Like, did y'all do this on a Commodore 64? Like, how did you even when Yuri's plane blew up, it literally looked like someone just took the pick art tool on a picture. I was like, what's happening? Why do these look so cheap? And then they got rid of all the intro in the beginning. All they do is just sit in a room.
Right.
There's no full storyline. There's no acting. There's no script. There's no them killing nobody. That's this season for me. I felt like left a lot of things to be desired. It was almost like I feel like they rushed the season.
I wouldn't say rushed, but I do see where you're coming from because
I'm just thinking of past seasons, and I'm just kind of like, why do I feel like they were a lot more fleshed out than this? I feel like I really don't know
much about
much of the people other than the drama they already gave us. You know what I mean?
My theory is that season 5 did not produce the amount of money that they were thinking season 5 would produce. So they had to make some budget cuts because season 5 was not a great season. So they had to, Trey didn't like the session, so he had got to It honestly does feel like it felt like the budget was a little bit reduced. Like when almost all of the exterminations happened on the same lot. Like I like that concept because they decided to go with this like movie theme. A lot of that makes sense, and like the trajectory of the extermination scenes, like it makes sense. But like poor old Desiree. Poor old
Right.
Desiree, she got the worst extermination scene out of anybody. Vivi was just thrown down a set of stairs.
Yeah. That was it.
At least Scylla's was interesting because she couldn't shut up, so they slit her throat. Like, at least that's interesting.
Yeah, but it was like everybody else. I was like, what? Like, even during, I also posted this. I said it during Pie's extermination. I was like, during that whole extermination challenge, all of that looked fake. The smoke coming out of their breath looked CGI. The water that got sprayed on them looked like it wasn't actually getting sprayed on them. It looked like it was water that was getting sprayed like on the inside pane of the glass that like was in front of them.
Right.
So it just looked like they were getting soaked. They're sitting up there with this camera angle in Pie's face, and it looks like ice is going on the camera. That just looked like computer. Like, it was so much stuff where I'm just like, what is happening? Y'all don't have money. Money, honey. Not to mention that whole back area where they got ready and all this other kind of stuff. Like when they showed, because JK, I went to the viewing party last week and JK was here, and JK said that back area where Yuri was like actually packing up and stuff like that, that's actually where they get ready before they go on stage. But the in-between area, in between that she like walked through or whatever, that looked like the whole damn room that they just had the extermination in when they were shooting them with the paintball guns. I'm like, is this shit all happening in the same 3 rooms?
Pretty much.
I just,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I feel like that we had some decent characters. I feel like that we had a lot of forced storylines that didn't really get a lot of chance for us to actually grow and like connect with them. And then we got this, and then it got to a point where it started looking very Maxi. It started looking very Venus. It started looking very like, girl, do I need to watch the rest of the season? Because I'm pretty sure you already told me who won. I went into it 100% still staying unbiased, still rooting for Auntie because Auntie's on my team. But at the same time, I was like, if they give Asia this finale, I won't be surprised. What I will say is this: she put up a damn good ass case for it.
Yep.
Her and Gray both did. I would be remiss to sit up here and say that, oh my God, they just handed Asia this season. She showed up to the finale and didn't even do anything. No, bitch, Asia bodied in the finale. Yep. I will give her that. I will 100% give her that. But yeah, I still feel like if it would have been done a little bit more organically, Asia still would have won. Like, we still would have gotten this progression that we would have got out of Asia. It's just, yeah, certain production things were just weird and sticky for me. Like, love him to death still, but I don't even know why Majesty was there. Like,
yeah, no, and we got no resolution. We got no resolution on Majesty. We got no resolution on the whole situation with Majesty telling Aurora someone was trying to get her like disqualified.
The Boulet said something about there being a part 2 to this whole thing, and then they even brought it up the next day in the cauldron. Never did a thing with it.
No.
Something told me they were going to do that. I was like, they do shit like that. Did that one, what was it? The extermination of Jaharia was the only extermination where they actually had somebody being dragged off or something like that, as opposed to it having like real campy shit or whatever at the end of the credits and stuff. Never did anything with that.
Yeah. Well, that makes me think about something that they talked about in this episode. Because they teased Titans 2. And something tells me that just means Jaharia is coming back for Titans 2.
Yeah, something made me think that could be a possibility. Also, too, I remember I asked JK, I said, who would you pick as the exorcister of this season? And he said Jaharia.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe that could be it. Maybe like Jaharia didn't quote unquote die.
That's what I was thinking too.
Brought her back, bring her back for next season as the exorcister or something. I was like, that would make sense. Yeah. But they do that sometimes in seasons where they'll like, I will never forget, I think it was season like 1 or 2. Actually, I think it might have been 2 or 3. And where they made this like little skit plot point about them bringing somebody back from the dead. And the person that they brought back from the dead was, I forgot his name. I think his name was
They-
Mark or something. He was one of the pit crew members from Drag Race.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And they had him on Dragula. And they were talking about like bringing him back from the dead
Sean.
or
It was
whatever.
Sean.
Sean, yeah, Sean.
Yeah, it was Sean.
I think it might have been like right after Sean left Drag Race. And so I was like,
think
okay.
so.
I was like, okay, is he finna be on Dragula now? Or whatever. Bitch, never saw Sean again, ever in the
Right.
history of Dragula. And I was like, what was that for?
Yeah.
It's very confusing sometimes how they do things. And I'm just like, I feel like maybe they have a lot of things like fleshed out and maybe some things just don't work. So they just cut some stuff out. It just still leaves a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah, I don't know. This season I am left with a lot of unanswered questions. Just like a lot of the main one for me is like, why was Majesty there?
Like you literally, if Titans is going to be next season, y'all could have waited a year. Don't bring him back for Titans. Because if you bring him back for Titans, I'm going to be pissed.
I'm going to be pissed too. I would rather have the chicken that Desiree threw than Majesty on Titans.
And the main thing that annoys me about it is I understand people's mental health is a very big thing in there. I think the issue is the fact that it gets to a point sometimes where you have to acknowledge the fact that sometimes you look before you leap, and that's fine. But it comes off a little reductive when you're someone who's already been given the opportunity because you didn't have to reapply. They didn't ask you to. You did this on your own volition. So it's like, you do realize you getting back in this and being like, well, I want to prove something, whatever. You are, like, they like to use this trope on Drag Race, but I mean, in this case, it was the truth. You are actively taking a spot away from somebody else who has not been a part of the Dragula franchise at all that could possibly be a part of it. Yeah. For you to test the waters of if you want to be back or not be back or this, that, and the other. And I'm just kind of like, I can promise you that if Majesty would have never applied and would have just waited for the next Titans and applied for Titans, Majesty would be in Titans and it would be totally fine. Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, they could possibly even be in a better headspace then than they are now or that they were. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I just feel like they jumped the gun too fast. And the downside is they're not selfish for doing it, but it did come off not the best. It did come off a little self-serving. It did come off a little James Majesty out of the majesty of it. You know what I mean? I was like, you just had to show your face again. And now you're going to throw this. And I was just like, but you didn't have to. You didn't have to do any of this.
Yep.
So that's my issue. I'm just like, I feel like crap. I feel like the season just got instantly shorter in the blink of an eye because she was just like, I can't even deal with this. I'm just going to drop. And I'm like, why were you here, girl?
Yeah. I get it for sure. I understand her wanting to be back. I do. I absolutely do. At the end of the day, like you said, and this is kind of how I feel about it, unfortunately, you took a spot away from someone else that now could have all of the benefits of being a Dragula monster without, and now they may not get that opportunity now. And it sucks, but...
And you're already a monster, and you'll still be one. And it's like...
Yeah. But
it'd be different if it was like a Saint thing or something where the Boulets just brought you back because they felt that you did that. But you being like, no, I applied, I auditioned, I did all this. Why?
Like if there were 13 monsters this season and Majesty got brought back as the 13th, okay, I'm game for that then. Like that works for me. But yeah, no, I agree.
But it's almost like, it almost made me feel like she was trying to come back to prove something to everybody. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but we didn't ask you to prove anything to us.
Like no one asked. I don't know. Regardless, we get into the episode itself, and basically, we obviously know it's Filth, Horror, Glamour. We know, and we get a cute little personal anecdote from everybody talking about Filth, Horror, Glamour. I'm glad I can finally say that again.
And drag.
and drag, and they
drag.
Filth, horror, glamour, and drag. And drag. And then we get personal anecdotes from the top three, and I feel like this is the most I've learned about all three of them this entire season.
Yep.
Like we got a ham fist in this anecdote, and they were all lovely anecdotes. Auntie talking about growing up in a cult and not realizing it, and that's why she has trust issues. Great, love it. Asia losing 100. Where was this storyline about Asia losing 100 pounds before this? Like, where's the character development other than right before the finale? Nowhere. And then Gray talking about, coming out late in life and haunt and horror being the reason he decided to finally be his authentic queer self. I love it. Fantastic. Where the fuck were these storylines the whole fucking season?
They really weren't there.
That
like the drag has been so good on this season, and the production has been so not good. It's just these are some of the most interesting and conceptual monsters we have had in a very long time, top to bottom on this cast.
And you want to know what's funny? Is the one time when we actually could use a little moment where we could have gotten all of them together and learned something about each other, like the Last Supper, they decided not to do.
And we know why we didn't get a Last Supper, so...
what was their reason that they said again?
JK said they were bullshit for that.
Well, they said that the
we
fans...
didn't say any of that. Y'all are the ones that scared of having the Last Supper. We don't care. Have one.
Yeah, they said that on Creatures of the Night, they said that the fans were a little too much. They said when the time is right, they're gonna do the Last Supper when it's then. So
and this is the season where they probably where the fucking monsters have probably gotten the least amount of hate out of all the seasons you've ever done.
That's true.
Because you didn't show them. There's nothing for us to hate other than Desiree throwing a chicken at Yuri and her going, "Nar." Like, that's literally the only. What the fuck?
Like, girl, like you literally could have sat up here and exposed the whole, which I will say that also pissed me off. Little things. It was a production way of y'all sealing everything up and saying, okay, let's put a nice little bow at the end of the season. Why the hell did y'all make them folks sit up there and go, so let's talk about the alliances we had in the competition?
Right.
I was like, are you fucking serious? I was like, this is how I was like, are you serious that y'all are having this conversation? At the end of the day, it does not matter what alliances you did or did not have. Because number one, none of y'all made moves with the alliances that you did have. And number two, the people who had alliances with each other are not all in the finals. It'd be different if Gray was there going, oh, well, who are the alliances? And then Auntie and Asia look at each other and go, well, actually, both of us, bitch, we made it to the finals. I don't know, whatever. But it's like both of the people y'all trying to make alliances with aren't even there. So why does it matter if there was an alliance or not? It didn't help Pie out.
Literally, what did the alliance do?
Nothing. And they didn't do a damn thing with it.
Because Asia cursed her damn self.
That time that they actually sat up there and used it to try to manipulate and put Auntie in the bottom was a week when she was already bad anyway. I'm like, the time y'all should have actually done it would have been against Gray. But that wasn't because of the alliance, because Jaharia and Aurora were the ones who wanted Gray to be in the bottom. They didn't even follow with that. I was like, so many missed opportunities. And it's like, oh my God. Like, for me, the biggest gag out of the entire season was when they sat up there and they made everybody say who should go home, like, right in front of each other. Like, that to me was probably one of the biggest gags of the whole damn season. I have not been gagged that hard at all anymore in the season. Asia scalping herself when she already knew she was going to have a look that she didn't need to have a wig on for was goofy. Them constantly giving these damn curses to Gray and all he does is put a mask on is goofy. Like, I was like, this was so stupid. So many missed opportunities. God.
Anyway, should we talk about the floor show?
Let's do it.
We can, because it was some of the best looks.
Oh, this is For me, the best
By two of
overall
them.
floor show they've ever had,
By
honestly.
two of them. And then there was Auntie.
Well,
Auntie,
you
look
said it,
here.
not me.
I can say this because it's my sister.
Yeah.
I know her personally. I have performed with her. I've hung out with her. I've worked bed with her. I've done shots with her. I would tell her this. I feel like for Auntie's take in the show, I don't know if she just overthought her concepts or what, but for me, I think what ended up happening was it became one of those things like when they were talking about Aurora's baby look, Aurora's baby doll look, but her baby doll wasn't scary. I feel like that's what kind of it ended up coming down to is like, sadly, this is I feel like Auntie treated this like this was the finale of Drag Race as opposed to the finale of Dragula a little bit. And I'm like, damn, because I love you and what you did was strong and it was clean, but it got to a point, girl, where you weren't scaring me at all. Like, some of the things had scary, like, nuances or, like, you know what I mean? Or they were very cerebral, so you're thinking, okay, you know, da-da-da-da, but, like, I feel like that's the one thing that was missing the most. I feel like that you went for 3 out of the 4 tenets of Dragula, but you went for filth, glamour, and drag, and you did not go for horror. And I feel like that kind of bit her in the butt. Because I also looked at it like, okay, usually when they bring a top 3 like this, and they're very succinct in what they do, one person will outshine the other 2 in a certain category. Like, who's taking what category? I feel like that's how a lot of us have all looked at the finales when we judge who the winner is, too, is being like, okay, who out of Filth did the best? Who out of this did the best? Who out of this did the best? Whoever did the most, best out of the 3 should be the person that wins. And it was like, everybody's comments I saw on like ranking who won and how everything went or whatever, Auntie was last place in every category. And I was like, I was looking at it like, girl, I can only justify this if they go up there and they just blew you away. And they did. They came guns blazing for those. Like, Jesus. Some of the stuff they did, I did not expect them to do in the finale at all. And maybe that's part of it. I feel like maybe Auntie went in a little bit too safe into the finale. You know what I mean? She didn't really push herself. You know what I mean? Everything seemed kind of already in her wheelhouse. And I was just like,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Shall we talk about the looks?
We shall. Are we going to talk about... We're going to talk about Drac and Swan.
Oh, I've got all 3 of the looks from Drac and Swan, don't you worry.
Okay, great.
But for the last time this season, I'm going to play my favorite music.
Attention competitors. Attention competitors. The floor show is about to begin.
I didn't hear that at all.
Oh, no.
What is it?
Oh, it's the the floor show music, the attention competitors.
Oh, I was going to say, I just saw you just standing there shaking your titties and going, oh my God. You're just like,
it's the one specifically from last season because Fantasia's tits were all over the place everywhere.
when she was just laying on the table.
That is her mark on Dragula, is just the pre-floor show freak out with her tits everywhere. I love her. I love that woman.
Also, BTW, someone asked Aurora last week. No. Yes. Somebody asked Aurora last week. They said, when they do that attention competitor, how much time did they actually give y'all? She was like, we get enough time. She was like, they do that. She was like, they do that. And then they get like another hour to do makeup. And then they move all the stuff to that little back room area or whatever. Then they still get ready there. Then they do the floor show. So I was like, Okay, period. We knew that, like, it got to a point where it was kind of, it's become the new gag, you know what I mean? Where we're like, oh, the attention competitor thing. But I did also wonder that as well. Like, I wonder how much time they actually got. But I'm like, I feel like that they're not going to fully let anyone go up there and just look a fool or not have anything fully put together if they can give them the time to. Because I feel like that also makes the show look bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, but look one of the bullets.
I hate these wigs.
They're too flat.
I hate them.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to do a Betty Page, I need it to be bigger.
So bad. When I saw them, I was like, ew. And I was like, not to mention, they look like you probably got them they given assembly line wigs out of a bag. They're both curled and moved in the exact same position. I'm like, no, they weren't styled that way. They just all come looking like that. And you just bought two. But
I mean, the garments are cute, so I'm glad at least they did it for that was just the first part of the episode.
Yeah, I'm glad this wasn't the actual floor show hair. The floor show hair looked way better.
Because these are some garments and some wigs. Thank God.
Yes.
I like.
Thank God for that.
This
red to black ombre latex gigorama. It's so Boulet, but still done in a kind of a different way, and I'm living for it.
I think I like that they're trying to give a little bit more of an aesthetic with their looks now. I felt like that in some past seasons, sometimes it was either the looks, the floor show looks were not fully an afterthought. They just didn't seem like they had a lot of creativity behind them.
Right.
And I feel like we've seen a lot more creative looks from them this season. I will go ahead and say that that mutated, almost bestial, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, vampire look they did
from last week.
Best look they've ever had out of any franchise, any season. Period. That is the best they have ever looked. I was like, can y'all please look with something like this every week? Because my God, that was actually scary as shit. I was like, wait. I was like, y'all are giving to me, especially more so better than the mask, the skull mask one that they did earlier in the season, because with these, when their mouths moved and stuff like that, it actually went a lot with it. With the skull ones, it was it was very apparent that there was a skull mask on the outside and their faces in the inside. Even when they would laugh, the little chin would go little stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I like this. I thought this was cute. Honestly, I wish they would have saved the look from last week to be the finale look.
Right.
Yeah.
Have them look just like these demonic vampires in these ball gowns. Oh, that would have been
everything.
Mm-hmm.
But
let me style y'all, Boulets.
Right. And then we get this kind of cute little demure Boulet moment. And I'm not mad
demure
at
Boulet, I love that.
It's very demure Boulet.
It's very the Glamour. It's very
Glamour.
I love it. I love the side swoop hair.
Were they trying to do Glamour with this, horror with the second look, and Filth with those wigs in the first look? Is that what they were doing? I get it, Boulets. I got you now.
Right. We see each other.
Boulet.
What's funny is the fact that when the bobs weren't bobbing in the first one, but the bobs in this one are bobbing. So.
Oh, these bobs are bobbing. This is a fuck ass bob.
Mm-hmm.
Where is my?
Yeah, because I looked at the way
this was bob.
I looked at the way this was on them and everything, and I was like, oh my God, this is so better than the hair they wore from the damn beginning of the episode. I said, wait a minute, is this the same hair? And I looked at it, I said, no, it's not. And I said, and I appreciate that.
It's the same color. It very well might be the same wig style differently. I don't know. Regardless.
No, because then they would have had to get rid of those. They would have to get rid of those bangs.
True. Or the same base wig, but they had those two for those, and then a different two of the same base wig styled this way for this.
I think that they are kind of like Mom and Pal a little bit, where it comes to they just have a stock signature color that they do their like all of their hair in. You know what I mean? Like I feel like, please don't do this. But I feel like they, even if they were to wear afros, they would be like these like silver gray, like afro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't do that though. Don't do that.
No.
But
not at all.
yeah.
No, thank you. But we've got our obviously Filth, horror, glamour, drag going on. We're going to talk about our monsters packages all in one. So we're going to talk about one person and then the next person and then the next person just to make it easier. So let's start with anti-heroine Filth look.
Eve, do you want to start or do I want to start?
I don't want to start.
Okay, I will start then. So, okay, I'll be honest. I didn't know where this was going with this Filth because, like, when I saw like the tail of it all, because I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be an intestine, but
I believe so.
I was just like, okay, that's kind of filthy. And then I see like the treats. I was like, okay, where is this going? And then once one of the cakes reveals it was a bunch of bugs, I was like, okay, that's where it is. This wasn't filthy enough for me. Like, I really wish like Auntie could have gone more in a little more, but I get why she went toward this direction because, like, again, this look is good, but I wish there was more filth. I just wish there was more filth.
Yeah. How do I say this nicely? A lot of us thought this was supposed to be your glamour look. Mm-hmm. To be completely honest with you, if you would have done this as your glamour look, I think it probably would have went over better than your actual glamour look.
Yeah.
I feel like that you had a great idea and concept when it came to like the prolapsed intestine, but you did nothing to take it there. Like it was the equivalent of Kendra Onyx and them asking her why she was scary, and she said it was because she had a rat on her. Girl, you can't be filth just because you got an intestine tail. Like other than that, nothing. Like and also when it came down to the demonstration of the filth and everything, it took you way too long to get to the end of where we were finding the filth. Like if you would have sped things up a little bit, brought the food cart out, and if you would have ate all the food, even if it did or didn't have any bugs in it, something that I was very surprised did not happen in anywhere, whatever it is, I would have loved to see you eating the food.
Yeah.
And then you making these bodily convulsions and movements like you're actively digesting it. I don't know how you could have did this. You could have got you some little mechanical toys or something, put them inside, bitch, so that the tail would wiggle and move like it's actually like the food is moving through your body. Like that is the extreme. I felt like that you should have been taking it to because this got very, very close to like a human centipede kind of situation or whatever. But I felt like I thought that was going to be the filth reveal out of the whole thing. She's going to eat part of it. It's going to come out the other end. That's what we're waiting to see. That never happened. And then with the maggots being revealed into it, I'm like, okay, you eating the maggots is gross, but you eating maggots is kind of detached from the fact that you have a prolapsed intestine.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to put two different filthy things together and be like, this is filth. And it's like, but the storyline isn't as cohesive and the look of it isn't filthy. This cart should have been dirty. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Or if you were wanting to do this glamorous girl that happens to be filthy, I felt like I said, I just felt like you really needed to push the filth a lot harder. And I felt like that they didn't you need to push. Like,
right.
Apparently you've been pushing a lot, given us what trail is behind your ass right now. But I'm sorry, you just need to push a little bit harder. To really lock that filth in for me. Because that was, I feel like that was such a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I think concept-wise, I think it's a really good concept. Anorexic, going the anorexia route, I think, it's personal to Auntie, so I get it. And I I agree with you. I think the concept was half baked. I think there's a lot of Filth things you could have done with this. Filth is just not Auntie's area. Honestly,
Right.
it's just not. So, like, I was really surprised. If your angle is anorexia, why are we not throwing up on stage?
That's bulimia,
Like-
baby.
Oh, is it? Never mind.
Anorexia is starving yourself. Bulimia is self.
Period. Thank you. Thank
No.
you.
While I eat pozole.
I mean, the concept could have gone hand in hand, regardless.
Yeah, it just,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah. The concept could have gone hand in hand, and I get it. The presentation that she did give was good, but there was no eating maggots is gross, but bitch pudding drank fucking mop water.
Dirty
What
fucking
are you
mop
doing?
water, bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
Woo!
what are you? What? Huh?
I also will say this, and we will say that I will bring this up again when we get to the other two contestants. I do like the way that Filth was referenced, because there are a lot of times when you automatically think Filth is eating a whole bunch of something or you know what I mean, or shit or something like that or whatever. But like, I do love when people take the idea of Filth to a different mental direction. Like with bitch pudding doing it, being like Filth is just dirty, you know what I mean? Or like when Dolly did it, like Dolly's Filth look, like that was like that was crazy. It was just one of those where I'm just kind of like, I like when people really push the concept of Filth more so than just poop and pee, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Unless you just really do poop and pee, which I mean,
Right.
really.
I mean, more power to you if you do. But scores for this beautiful look.
Because it's beautiful. I'm
And not
gonna
filthy.
not filthy, but I'm still gonna still grade this overall. I'm giving this a 57.
Yeah, Auntie, I love you, but I gotta get this a 50. And that's honestly the lowest I can give you, given the fact that you are on my team and that you are a friend of mine. I can't give you anything lower than that. But for me, that's the lowest. This did not hit for me at all. I'm so sorry.
It's a 62 for me, unfortunately. A lot of that is just how good because the gown is stunning.
Beautiful.
Nasty. Like, God, I wish she would have just did this for Glamour. Like the
But
gown.
before we talk about her glamour, we have to talk about her horn.
Her what?
Horn, allegedly.
Her what? Because are you scared?
Horn, allegedly.
Are you scared?
No.
I'm not
I'm
scared.
scared of what she thinks is horror.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, like the horror of it all with the fact that the huge brain is there, like I get. However, like this is still a beautiful look. Like, I mean, I can see where this was going because again, like the alien direction of oh god, like we're getting abducted or something. But really the only horror part of this, in my opinion, is just the brain. That is it.
Yeah.
I can't really like, but the looks is still good. Like I would want to like see this in person. So,
Sister, what is this? What's happening? What have you brought to me on this day? Why are you referencing a movie that was a comedy for horror? What sense is that making? I love you to death. You're a millennial through and through, as we can tell. Why the hell did you pick this movie? And not give us any layers in your performance whatsoever, other than the fact that you had a hole in the side of your head. Other than that, you literally walked around like this was a stage production. It was like Mars Attacks Live.
Yep.
You knew the movements. You knew the that they always, the sound that they make or whatever, you could see, you could audibly see you making those movements when you were like acting it out. You brought nothing original to this whatsoever, other than the fact that the concept of how it looks is a little bit different than the actual one. But other than that, I was like, this is not horror for me at the base level, because nothing about this is scary. And I was like, that really made me be like, you overthought this, I feel like.
Yep.
This you overthought.
I couldn't agree more. That
Yeah.
The moment she came out.
She overthought it, because I felt like that she went to the basis of Mars attacks, aliens, boom, we're gonna do that flat out. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be funny. The amount of instances and references from the actual Mars attack movie that you could have did that were scary. You could have came out dressed as a whole natural regular woman with a Chihuahua dog head on your head.
Mm-hmm.
Holding an actual head, like holding your head in your arms. Like you could have done that look. You could have done the actual look of the girl in the swirl dress, bitch, and pulled the whole mask off and had this on underneath. Like stuff like that. Like you could have taken this Mars attacks and really did like elevate it to more of a horror level, but it got too campy too quick, and it became one of those things where it's like, this is very well done, but I'm not scared. And that's the category. The category is horror. You're supposed to be scaring me in some kind of way, you know? Like you're posed like you're in the middle of a musical number.
Because that's basically what she did. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like it was wildly disappointing to see this. I like the reference. I do. I understand why she went that direction.
I do too.
I was waiting the entire time for her to like put
for something else
twist on it. Like I want Mars attacks, but I want Mars attacks where then she like self-combusts, or there's like I wanted the horror element to it, and I did not get it. The outfit and the garment itself is actually really cool. I love the brain prosthetic. I appreciate that she went for a prosthetic, because she doesn't always. It just where's the horror?
Now you know what
is the horror?
What would have worked? And this would have possibly been like, okay, this now puts you in the ranking with the other two girls when it comes to horror. Is a lot of things horror-wise that really get people play on people's fears or insecurities and stuff like that. And this whole movie was about aliens taking over the world, whatever. You know what I mean? They're pretending to be us. Some of them are pretending to be us so they can take over or whatever. I was like, why didn't you come out as a facsimile of a United States president, very referential to possibly Donald Trump or someone?
Yep.
And then like take that off as a mask and reveal you're an alien underneath. Like that
would be great.
That would be scary, because it legitimately is something happening right now where we all can be like, whoa, wait a minute. Like I feel like maybe it just the way that she locked on the concept just wasn't the best way to execute it.
No. Scores? Do I dare ask?
45.
That's
generous. And that's generous.
I gotta give her another 50.
I gave her a 32.
And
I love Auntie. I do. I really do, but
to death. But I'm like, girl, your Jack in the Box is scarier than this.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like what?
Thank God she came out in this glamour look to redeem a little bit.
A little bit.
Because I actually really enjoyed this glamour look. It fit very much so what I expected from her, and kind of what she was talking about in her little segment, kind of bridging alternative drag and, you know, more traditional pageanty glamorous drag. I think she did accomplish what she wanted to do with this. The headdress is great. I didn't need it revealing into a encrusted bodysuit, though the bodysuit did look good, but it didn't do a whole lot for me, but she does look stunning. She does look stunning.
She I was like, this is her category to lose. She is the glamour girl out of the three of them. This is her category to lose. If she does not go out there and serve to the highest ability of glamour that she can, it's not going to look right for her. I don't care for a lot of things with this look. I don't care for the fact that it does not look like. I don't care for the fact that the waist on that dress is not cinched really. So she looks like she has just this weird up and down shape. I understand the like exaggerated hips on the side, but it doesn't flow into somewhat of an hourglass, or it doesn't flow into looking like it's all supposed to be quote unquote her body. It looks like she just has two humps on the side of her waist. The two little fringe sparkly things, I don't feel like those need to be on top of the hips. What's the purpose of you sitting over there trying to have the hips to give you a faux silhouette if you're going to put shit on top of it so we can't see it?
Not the balloon.
Not the balloons. Not the balloons.
Balloons. Not the boar worms.
Not the boar worms. I feel like that the
boar worms.
I feel like that the little fringy, the hip peplum parts that she had, not the faux hips, but the fringe parts that's on top of them, I feel like those should have been higher up on the dress, and the dress should have been cinched more in the middle. That way it could have gave more of an illusion. I don't think there should have been fringe on the bottom layer of those little two things. I think the fringe should have been on the shoulders. So it could have been this. Basically, take the top part of this dress and the middle part of this dress and swap them. She then took the bodysuit off. She then took the dress off to reveal what we can only refer to as Kai's bodysuit from Canada's Drag Race Season 1. When she was on top of that, when they were taking them pictures on top of that.
Yes. Yep.
I was like, it's a mix between that and Freakazoid from the Cartoon Network cartoon, if anybody remembers that cartoon.
Yes.
Sure do. Yep.
I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, now your body, I'll give you that. Her body was nasty.
Her body
looked right, but revealing it to just that bodysuit and then just strutting around in it, like, I'm like, Plain Jane, what the hell are you doing, girl? Why is the height of your glamour you strutting around like a peacock in a bodysuit with nothing else on it, just a plain bodysuit? Ain't got no rings on. No, you have rings on. I'll take that back. You had your rings on. Ain't had no bracelets on. Ain't have no belts. Ain't have nothing. It was just a regular bodysuit. Absolutely not.
Dang.
This was a swing and a huge miss. Because I also put it to you this way, girl. If you would have worn this for a pack, I put it. Well, you know what? And maybe this is it. We'll say this. Auntie Heroine style of drag is very glamour and very pageant, but Auntie Heroine don't do pageants. Auntie Heroine ain't no former Miss Continental. She ain't no former Miss US of A. She ain't no former Miss Nobody. She might have won like a couple of bar titles or whatever, but she has no system pageant crowns to her name whatsoever. This is very indicative of some of the quote unquote pageant girls that are in Berlin that do not have, I mean, not in Berlin, they're in Chicago that don't have pageant, like actual crowns to their name. Is their concept of pageant drag is very much Chicago style of pageant drag. She couldn't go up for no Continental or nothing like that and wear this and think she would get any points for it. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
given the more alt scene of Chicago drag, this is pageantry to them.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I definitely see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she was doing like one of the Chicago competitions like Roscoe's or Survivor or Freshman 15 or something like that, and wore that for the finals. Oh, they would absolutely live and breathe. She tried to go out for a prelim night for Continental with that, they would laugh her ass right off the stage.
Damn.
But
yeah, okay. Personally for me, because like I'm looking at this right here, I could have thought the fringe would have gone further. Like instead of like on like above the hip, it could have been on the hip and then the fringe along the sleeve. I wish that could have been that. And then
it's just putting a lot of bulk around the bottom half and it's not evening out around the top.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The shoulders should match them hips, but they don't.
But they don't.
They don't, unfortunately. And then when it revealed to the bodysuit, I was hoping I would see more fringe there too, but no. And again, it looks good. Like I was like, okay, but it didn't leave me anything to desire because I was like, is that it? It kind of reminded me of the whole like reveal with Kyron with the like flower bodysuit in a way.
Oh, you're wearing a fucking bodysuit? And she won?
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I do like these shoulders as well. Like I can go on with this as more as I could, but again, echoing what Eve said, I was like, I really wish there could have been more to this.
Scores.
I'm giving this a 60.
And I'm giving it another 50.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I did give her, because I do like this more than both of her other looks, I gave this a sensible 74.
Period. I think that what I would have wanted to see that would have really pushed it is like the quality of what everyone else had as one look was so stunning. For her to do a look and then say, oh, I'm going to give you reveals out of the look, I didn't want the reveals to be what should have gotten you the extra points. I wanted what you were revealing from one end to the other to be what gave you the extra points. Because I don't feel like you should automatically win the glamour category because you have two outfits that are coordinating, even though one of them is kind of like, you know what I mean? One of them is kind of just you paying it. Like they've said this before, like sometimes you don't need to really do the reveal if you're not revealing into something that's going to really make us go, wow. Like it was kind of a lackluster reveal. You know what I mean? I wish she would have done more reveals.
Yeah.
I wish she would have took this off and had the bodysuit underneath and then take the bodysuit off and then have maybe a leotard or something that match, have it all coordinate and have it go into 3 or 4 different outfits.
If she had taken this off, revealed into like a simple mermaid gown, reveal that into a cat suit, reveal that into a leotard, reveal that into just pasties and a panty, that would have been fierce. That would have been glamour.
Yeah, and it would have been all the same colors, all the same color story, all that blue and silver.
Everything would have coordinated. Maybe some different, patterning just to mix things up a little bit and add a little bit of visual interest, but otherwise,
I feel like that when it comes to glamour, when it comes to drag and a lot of entertainers too, if they're not entertainers that automatically just 100% grew up in that, or if they're old school drag entertainers. Auntie is an old school drag entertainer. A lot of their mental perception of glamour comes down to beads, feathers, sequins, fringe, like the fabric accoutrements that help elevate the look. And sometimes that's what happens is girls think, well, I'm giving glamour because I have all of these things. And it's like, well, that also then will lend itself to taste and styling. Because, I mean, you could put feathers and stones and all this other kind of stuff on an ugly outfit and it won't make the outfit any prettier. It's just going to be an ugly outfit with feathers and stones and stuff on it. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like that is what I wish I would have saw a little bit more creative push in, was the concept of how she was executing this glamour, because we've seen her execute really gorgeous dramatic stuff. Her Audrey 2 look was way better than this. And that was glamour down. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this needed more of a concept behind it, other than I'm going to come out and give you quintessential drag glamour, and I'm going to wear sequins and stones and feathers and da-da-da, and that's it. And that'll do the work, Yeah.
Let's move to gray matter. First up, Filth.
Whew. I did not know what I was gonna expect out of this, but this concept like just blew me away. And then the ridiculousness of it all with the fact that that Gray was in a tub of milk just was like, oh, like that kind of like took me aback. Like and then taking this suit off and then revealing the udder, I was like, oh my god. Like I kind of had a visceral reaction toward that. I was like, okay. But yeah, Gray went for it. Like, really went for it.
Yeah. I think it's very smart in a filth kind of category to do like a animal human like hybrid character, just because it's very easy for animals. I mean, animals are quote unquote animals. You know what I mean? Like they're not trying to be the most cleanest of anything. You know what I mean? So like, if you can give us that like that anthropomorphic kind of half animal, half person, where the person in themselves is kind of giving like a slob, kind of, because like that's also what he's giving, like with the chest plate and everything. It's like he's giving you like dirty old man, but then he's also like part cow too, and cows ain't clean either. So it was like it really worked. It was very layered and it worked really well. I didn't know how filthy he was going to get trying to be a milkman. I did know the udders were going to be coming out somewhere because I was like, well, he's a milkman, so he's probably going to be, and he's got a cow face. Okay, so he's part cow. Where are the udders? Is that going to be the filth part? Da, 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 da. I like that he didn't just stop there, though. He pulled a turd out of his butt and ate it. That was good. Just like, even him just sitting there and just like, just putting the drink in his mouth and just be like, like that, like, was like, I don't know. It was very well done for the filth category for Gray. I didn't see Gray winning the filth category out of the three of them. And spoiler alert for me, Gray didn't. But I was interested to see how Gray was going to hold their own, and I'm glad they did. I am also glad as well too. We'll see this. We'll say this in some other ones, but I'm glad that we didn't see a full finale of all masks, even though there were a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I was not underwhelmed by this, but I wanted it to go further.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of other things that Gray could have done to make this go further. I liked the milk part. I liked the turd part. The garment itself is fine. My biggest issue, honestly, is with the chest plate and the udders that he used, and just the fact that he also then used his real body, and none of the colors matched, and it really took me out of the illusion of it.
Yeah.
Like that's where I had like, and I get it. It's whatever. Like I don't do drag, as has been brought up several times. I don't do drag, so I get it. It took me out of the illusion a little bit. When he was in the tub, then I was good. But just seeing his legs, and especially his beautiful pasty white legs, just did not match. Just unfortunately did not match any of the other color stories with his skin that he was doing in this. But with that being said, it was a very solid filth performance. It's one of the better filth performances we've had over the last couple of seasons. So I'm not all that mad.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Scores.
I gave this a 90.
I gave it an 85. 85, not 95. 85.
I gave him an 83.
Okay. Filth.
Let's talk about horror.
Whew. Now this was something. I like once I saw the hooks on the face with this mask, we were in for a ride. And then of course the whole body part where it was just like the skin ripping out and showing like the beating like on top of the skeleton too. Like this was, I'm like, how did Gray pull this off? Like, how did Gray pull this off? Because like even seeing the hooks as well, I was very like, oh, like it was very jarring, but I still loved it. I kind of wish this leather piece was bigger, but that's just me. But like, it was still really good. Like, I really wish this was like a huge overcoat, but I just do understand why the whole circle part in the front is here.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this did really go in for me.
I saw this and I said, okay, okay, okay. Couple things. One of them is they have been doing them well, so I can't be horribly mad. But we get a lot of Hellraiser and Cenobite looks popping up, like kind of frequently when it comes to when we think of horror, or when they want them to do a scary something. Somebody's going to jump to do Hellraiser. Someone's going to jump to do a Cenobite.
Right.
So when I saw the look, I was like, "Oh, we're getting a Cenobite. Okay, cool." You know what I mean? I feel like for me,
Right.
that just lacked a little creativity. I feel like we've seen Cenobites like 15 times on the show before. You know what I mean? Not to mention as well, when it started out at the beginning, it very much gave me Victoria Elizabeth Black in season 2. So I was kind of like, so are you reinventing the wheel, or are you just getting on it and taking a ride? Because you're going to do well, but are you going to do anything that's going to shock me to the point where I'm like, okay, this is actually different? They did once they started doing like the mask reveals and stuff, especially because the mask that they had didn't look crappy.
No.
So that's a good thing. I'm glad they took this first one off. I do think this first shot was amazing, and I wish we could have saw more of them moving around in this first shot. I would have wanted to see them with the mask there and the chains and them just like moving like they're trapped there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Before they actually take it off and do other stuff. I loved the split mask underneath. I thought that was badass. Part of me was very much like, just rip that off. Just rip all that off and just have a scar in it. And he did. I was like, okay, we're getting here now. We're getting here. I would say top 2 out the horror ones for me. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I was really happy with this as well from Gray. The number one thing that I clocked, and I agree with you completely, Eve, it was too reminiscent of Victoria Elizabeth Black's Cenobite for me. So it brought it down a little bit for me as far as the originality is concerned. But what I will say is the execution of this was spot on. The execution was spot on. The garment itself is gorgeous. I loved seeing all of the different angles of it, having this big like zipper down the front. I think that's really cool, echoing kind of like the zippering of the chest part as well.
Right.
I loved the reveals. I love as well, like you said, that it came down to the skull and then opened the chest up. I was hoping something else might happen with the chest. I don't know what else, but I was hoping there might be a little bit more to do with the chest, but it is what it is. They were already working with so many reveals that I'm not, not upset in the slightest that there wasn't, anything else going on. And the chains part at the beginning, I agree with you as well. I really would have loved to see more movement with that. I think ultimately there may not have been movement for it, and I think that's why we didn't get it, and that's why we see this, and then we immediately cut to him at the back of the stage walking forward with all the chains on him. And that visual as well was really good. I love the visuals all season, really, that Gray has been able to create with his performances. He is one of the most visually striking contestants we've ever seen on Dragula, by far, without a question. But yeah, the only thing that brings it down for me is just a little bit of a lack of creativity in concept.
Mm-hmm.
Scores.
I gave this a 94.
Giving you another 85 grade.
I gave him a 90. And then, baby, this Glamour.
I think this is like top notch in so many ways because of the fact that this is one of the fewest times we've actually seen Gray without a mask.
Yeah.
Because so many, like, it's giving me like I can't tell with this lighting because like I can't tell where this is all, but it's giving me very like, I guess, more evil Maleficent, but not green. Like that's where I'm like trying to get at for some reason. But like like the spikes, like the feathers of it all, like the ring, like I think they're supposed to be earrings, but like at the same time, like what is this? Like it's hard to describe in the best way that I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing. Like, and even the teeth detail as well. I was very shocked to see as well.
Yeah, I was 100% thinking when it came to Glamour that Gray was going to be at the bottom of the pack. I said, child, he probably going to come out in a suit or something. I don't know what's going to happen. This is the most glamorous look that anyone has worn this season.
Yep.
Period. Bottom line, cut and dry.
Yep.
When she turned around, and I saw, because I'm part of the drag and burlesque community here in Chicago. So when she turned around and she had that jumbo custom burlesque boa, I was like, oh, this is what we're giving for Glamour. And then when I saw the intricacies of like this like encrusted like dress robe situation, I said, bitch. I said, he's the evil king. Period. Mm-hmm. You can't say shit about him. I was like, he is the evil king. And I said, and I can promise you this, I bet you Asia's gonna look like the evil queen. I said, bitch, the way they just turned this out, the way that this got turned out, I know a good amount of girls, because you can get bows made like this, where the handles have that rhinestone, like the handles are all rhinestone like that or whatever. Dita has one that's red. And it's cute because you can have it on your arm like a bow or whatever, and then you can put your arm through the holes and just drop it. And then just have it like that, where it's just hanging off your wrists. But like, even with these extra like little tassel boa things hanging off the bottom to just make it that much more extra. Like, this is the most drag we've gotten from Gray all season.
Yep.
This is drag. This is drag down. Like, this is what Auntie should have been given. I'm mad because Auntie could have gave something like this with an updo and it would have been nasty, and I don't know why she didn't do it, but this was right with God. This was so right. Yeah. I lived and breathed.
This for me was the best look of the night. Hands down. For me. Like, it was just when he was explaining it, when they did their little explanations, he was like, Glamour Goblin. I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna give a little bit of nod to the entrance and the promo look. Let's see what we do. And then this motherfucker came out like this.
I was like, oh, he's king of the goblins now. Like,
literally. This is so spectacular. I am so obsessed with this. Just the color palette, the makeup. This is absolutely the most drag he has been all season. And what a time to pull that out. To pull that out of absolute thin air. Just,
he was like, oh, I got something I asked for Glamour. Woo!
Was that in the turd that he pulled out of his ass? Because, like, did he polish that up and it became this beautiful rhinestone beauty that he did what needed to be done. Just, God. Scores. Just, 3. All of it once.
I agree.
Full. Cannot be fuller. Period.
Baby. Woo.
Period.
I would live and breathe to see that outfit in person.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of outfits I wouldn't want to see in person, Asia Consent and Filth. This nasty bitch. I love her.
I know, like, disgusting, but in the best way. Like, I hate to say this sometimes because, like, I'm referencing like how Rockstar says disgusting, but like, again,
disgusting.
Like, what is this? And I'm like, like taking Filth literally and taking it way too extreme. Like this one Filth for me, obviously. Like, just from the very beginning, I was just like, oh, this is a presentation. Here we go.
Mhm.
Just starting out, the fact that just comes, just like literally a piece of shit coming out from the ass. I was like, oh my god. And then just goes in with the toilet, and then just seeing all the stains on the toilet as well. Like Asia just went for it, and I'm so happy.
Multiple toilets? Multiple toilet reveal?
I have a bit of a polarizing opinion when it comes to Asia's filth look. I thought it was sickening. I thought it was disgusting. I thought it was gross, of course. My issue is the fact that I felt like that it wasn't creative.
Okay.
That's my only issue. I felt the most creative part was her coming out of the ass in the beginning. Because I was like, oh, okay, sickly. I was like, bitch, now she's coming out of a butthole. And the butthole got zits on it and everything gross. It's nasty. But then from that, she's like, okay, I'm a girl in a turd dress. I'm just going to lick toilets for like the next 2.5 minutes. And I'm like, are you going to do anything else though? Like, girl, I want you to like, I don't know, take the shit out the toilets and make it into a smoothie or something, girl. Like, or wear it as makeup, girl. Or like, I don't know. Like, it's just, I felt like that her look and presentation, everything was filthy, but I do feel like a lot of it hinged on the fact that she basically was like, I'm just gonna put shit everywhere. So it's like you could not be filthy that way. You know what I mean? It was like a technicality filthy. I wish I could have
Okay.
just saw a little bit more concept pushed into it other than like, I'm poop, here's poop, poop. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I felt like. Oh, it's just like, okay, poop. And I was like, oh my God, what's she gonna do with the toilets? Is she gonna do something? No, she's just, she's licking them and stuff because she's poop. And I'm like, oh, okay. But other than that, girl, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I need you to do more. Like I would have liked to see a little bit more elevation in what she was doing with the poop look and stuff too. The look seemed very freeform on her, um, which I kind of liked, but kind of didn't like. She does have we've gotten used to seeing when she wears looks. A lot of times she'll wear looks that are just from here down, and then she does this chest painting up here at the top. But she's done it like 5 times this season. So like, I wish I could have, I don't know, maybe saw the outfit look. Maybe if this was a shit bodysuit, or maybe if it was like a shit, you know what I mean, jumpsuit or something. But like, I wish I could have saw hair more concept. That's all I guess that's all.
I get that for sure. I definitely get that. I think for me, I don't mind that it's poop. Because it's poop. Yeah, like it doesn't bother me that much because that's just what it is. I do think the biggest part of the creativity was coming out of the asshole. I do agree with that. The garment itself, it looks like poop.
Right.
And I think the performance, she was in poop. Like, I don't even know what else to, like, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it was the filthiest of the three of them, but
I guess I keep in mind when I think of her doing Art the Clown in the first challenge, because that was filth too.
Yeah.
But that wasn't such one note of filth. You know what I mean? I guess that's what I would have wanted to see. I wish I could have saw more notes in this.
I don't mind, a one-dimensional concept when the performance and the execution is good, and the performance and the execution was good.
Right.
So the performance and execution really outweighed the concept. For me, I don't mind that. Right. I'll take it. She won filth for me for sure.
Yeah, I'd say that too. Out of the 3, she won for me.
Yeah. Scores.
This is full
of shit.
Yep.
In
the best way.
I would give her a 95. Well, I would give her a 90, to be honest.
Okay. I gave her a 94.
Periods.
And let's talk about her horror.
Oh my god. Okay, trigger warning, because this does talk about like
Yes,
heavy
thank
topics.
you.
So
Unaliving yourself. Yes, God. Thank you, Brandon.
This kind of struck like I don't deal with these demons obviously, but it did struck me because like I know so many people that like obviously deal with their inner demons. And like this really just showcased what like this is beautiful horror, like on how like Asia expressed this, like, and the way that like she like expressed this as well, because you can when I first saw the rope I was like, oh, this is where this was going. And then obviously I was like, is that following her or is that attached? I was like, both. So
Yeah. Both at the same time.
Like just the idea of the fact that like I wouldn't have thought of this like at all. And I'm glad that this was showcased because like this a lot of like the way that this was executed was so beautiful.
At the beginning of this finale, we got Filth as the first category. Went through the first category of Filth. I was like, okay, this is a decent start. This is a decent start to the finale. They're trying to take me there a little bit. I haven't had anyone just blow my fucking wig completely off yet, but we'll see what happens. Asia in this horror look. I still can't find my wig. I don't know where it went. It's gone. Like I audibly when she spun around on the little turnstile thing or whatever, I was like, Asia, are you fucking serious? I was like, this is not only did it look scary as hell, the concept for it was something that so many people can connect to when it comes to just being in the deepest recesses of your mind and having that one figure behind you telling you, you don't deserve this. You're not good enough. Why are you here? Why does anyone love you? Like that was so poignant to me, to the point where while she's sitting there and writing the note and everything, at the end, she like goes to slit her wrist with the pen. I was like, I honestly don't need to see anyone else for horror or see any more of the categories. We could just give her the crown off this.
Yep.
This was one of the smartest and most poignant, creative ways I've seen anyone do horror ever on this show. Like it was just more of the concept of it was what scared the hell out of me, more so than what like the look was scary, but just like, and the way she acted through that, the way she performed, girl, like even little nuances, like the rope that's around her neck looks like a noose, and she's a Black trans woman. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this hit me hard.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I honestly, before I saw Grey's, I said, Grey, you got some work to do. Cause my Mars Attacks over there ain't scaring the shit out of nobody. But this girl, you gotta watch out for her ass. This was insane. This was so well done. So well done.
Yeah. Yeah, this hit personally. And it hit in a really interesting way. I think I have now.
Like I almost cried.
I almost did as well. I have my holy trinity of floor show looks now for the finale. For me, it's Bitch Pudding's Filth, Dolly's Filth, and Asia's Horror. Like those are the three for me. Those are the final floor shows that I will never forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will never forget how I felt seeing this for the first time. And I'm glad that Asia is out here representing for all of the inner saboteurs RuPaul has called out for so many years. I am glad that we got that representation for those outer saboteurs and inner saboteurs.
Right.
Especially because she referenced other drag shows made drag mainstream. And I just lived for that. Oh, I love Drag Race, but God, so good. Should I even ask?
I'll pull it up.
Obviously.
I mean,
Obviously. Let's not block Eve the whole time this time, though.
Yes.
Obviously. Hello. Thank
100% obviously. This was so. This is what I want when I want to see good drag. I want you to not only fit the criteria, make me feel something, but have a concept in the back of your mind that's something that people in your audiences can connect to, because that just helps you look so much more than a person wearing an outfit on a stage. You're telling a story and you're letting us learn more about you. Like, this helped us learn more about Asian than we did almost most of the damn season. You know what I mean? But this is the reason why I was like, okay, yeah, she can win this. At first I was like, I want Auntie win. After I saw this, I said, no, you know what? We can give her that crown. I would be 100% fine with that. Wouldn't care at all. Wouldn't in any way have a reservation about her winning at all. Because she's doing the damn thing.
Yeah. And then she comes out in this glamour look that is equally as incredible.
I said it. I was like, if Gray is the king, like this evil king, watch her come out and be the queen. And bitch. What?
What the fuck? What?
This tarantula bone bitch. What?
Tarantula bone ass bitch. What?
I don't know where to start with this, because like everything about this, like, again, the glamour of it all, like, just again, I don't know how to like describe this because it's just so good. And I remember like just watching this like last night when it first like premiered. I didn't know how to react, because I was like, I know it's so good, but like, what? Like, I'm just speechless just even talking about this.
Oh, I got some references for y'all ass, because you know me, I'm the reference queen. When the lights hit her and she spun around, the first reference I got was Hel from Thor Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
I got that with the little back pieces. I also got some Black Widow and Tarantula in there. Then I went real deep into the recesses of my mind, because I love this skeletal kind of situation that was happening up here on the front and on the head. But I also liked how the skeleton didn't look like it was an actual human animal, like not human, an actual like human skeleton. It looked animal skeleton. It didn't even look like a normal animal skeleton. It looked animalistic skeleton, which then mentally took me back to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. When they all had the ninja powers and they were trying to go get the new Zords, where they had to fight all the low warrior dudes or whatever. They had that armor. They looked like that. That was where it took me. I was like, Asia, what you doing, yo, girl? Cause like, I love the fact that like I was referencing how she does her makeup and stuff on her chest. She changed that up so that looks differently. So that didn't make it look like, you know what I mean? Like she added things. Her face looks stunning. Like it's evil queen glamour, period. Like, to a T. That's just what it is. I think the only thing that I think would have helped and would have really like sent me over the edge is if she had a staff that was as tall as she was, that was made out of bones. Ooh, my God. Even if it had that gradient, like the bottom of the staff would be black and it would go up to like the nude bones into like her.
Yep.
Yes, that would have been. I was like, she needs a staff or like something. She looks like she rules over people or something. You know what I mean? Like, but also she gives me that freaking spider creature from, oh God, what show is that? Have you guys ever watched Love, Death and Robots?
I'm familiar.
I know the name, but I don't know it like at all.
So there was an episode of Love, Death, and Robots where there were these people out in space, and they ended up getting. The whole show is like an anthology show,
Yep.
kind of like Black Mirror.
That much I knew. Yeah, that much I knew.
Yeah, it's like Black Mirror, but it's all based around the concept of either love, death, or robots. So there's this one episode about these people that are in the future, and they are they end up having engine problems or whatever with their plane. And so they end up going to this one place and then docking there. And this one guy ends up meeting this girl that he's like known for like decades ago or whatever on Earth. And he's like, oh my God, what are you doing out here? Da da da. They're connecting, all this other kind of stuff. But something weird is happening around this whole thing. So anyway, long story short, you find out that what happened was when their ship messed up, it actually kicked them light years into the future, into this random ass realm out in the middle of space. Basically, what happened is they get caught in this giant space spider's web. And what happens is when the space spider like catches you, they put you under this hallucination or whatever. So you think everything's okay. You see people that you've seen before, all this other kind of stuff. The entire time while you're doing that, it's feeding off you. So towards the end of the episode, he realizes this isn't right. I'm not at home. What's happening? You're not real. Da da da. And he was like, well, you know, I'll let you know how I really look, and I'll show you how I really feel. But I just want you to know that I care about you just like I care about everybody that randomly shows up here. And then she takes the hallucination off, and he's seeing all his friends in escape pods laying next to him, drained completely of their body fluid. She already ate them. She looks like this full walking spideroid type woman monster, and literally he is in this giant web, like this huge and giant spider web with like thousands upon thousands of ships randomly stuck in it from like eons. And I was like, wow. And so like this for me gave that. It gave like deadly beauty. Like she would be feeding off of you and you would think she's in love with you. Like, like something like that. I was just like, this could have been horror for me. Hell, to be honest with you, like it's
with a different staging and some props. Absolutely,
it was one of those things when we got to the Glamour. I said, so this finale is between Asia and Grey.
Yeah, I mean, this is incredible. The skeleton for me is actually giving a bit insectoid as well.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about kind of like animalistic.
That's exoskeleton.
It's very exoskeleton, especially because we've got like the spider going on, so it feels very exoskeleton. I love the contrast between the black garment and the kind of like bone color of the bones.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of it is gorgeous. I do agree. I love that she switched up her chest makeup a little bit just to give us a little bit of versatility at the very end. I was really happy to see it. It's stunning. It's gorgeous. I don't need to say anything else. I'm going to hold this up. One part that I really liked as well too is because it didn't end up coming off as like an afterthought, is like when she would turn around and you would see the back of the dress, there was like this thick black like almost leather paneling that went down like the middle part of the back of the dress. And I was like, yeah, she's like, this isn't just me in like a bone like Abraham Levi corset that just happens to be made out of bones that I just wore over a dress. Right.
Like this all goes together as one functioning unit. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, go ahead and crown her. Go ahead and crown her.
And you know what they did? Just that.
They did.
Yay! Asia!
Yes.
Congratulations, Asia!
Can we talk about it? Second trans person in a row to win Dragula. And the first black artist to win Dragula.
Yep. First black artist, second woman, second trans woman, third trans individual. Well, no,
Correct.
second trans. Second trans. Landon doesn't count.
No. Landon is a woman and then also a beautiful man.
Right.
And a beautiful woman, let me make that clear. But no.
Yes.
Just I picked her out when we got those promos. I said, that is my girl. That is my girl, and I'm going to stand by her this whole season. And I knew it. There was something, and then hearing in this episode, hearing her talk about how this was her third time auditioning, and she was happy she was on this season because she didn't think she was going to be ready for the other 2 seasons. And for her to finally be able to step into her moment here, I just absolutely love Asia. She is maybe my favorite winner of Dragula, honestly. Like, it's between her, Landon, and Bitch for me. Those are my 3. And Vander. Oh, fuck. And Vander. Oh, fuck. And Dolly. Oh, fuck. And Victoria. Oh, no. And Neo's great, too. God damn it. It might be recency bias. The point is, I love her. I'm so happy for her. And the amount of doors that she is about to open for Black and trans alternative artists around this country is going to be incredible. And I can't wait to see it. And I also want to thank Jaharia for all of her contribution to increasing visibility for Black alternative artists this season.
Oh my God, I totally fucking forgot. She's here too.
Yep.
Oh shit, should I go see her?
You absolutely should.
Well, I'm not going to be in face. I guess that's okay.
I think that's great, darling. We love seeing the live panic going through Eve.
I don't want to have to get in drag tonight.
You don't have to, baby.
Yeah, I'll go. Well,
let's
be in drag, but yeah.
Let's get this episode wrapped up so that way you can get out of here and go see Jaharia as well. So, to close out the draft for this season, Brandon, I'm so sorry we keep bringing it up, but you are in 6th with probably the lowest score anyone has ever had in a drag draft on this channel with 4 points.
Yep.
Brooke came in 5th with 22 points. Eve, my darling, you did come in a very, very close, I will say, a very close 4th with 38 points. David in 3rd with 40 points. Jack in 2nd with 41.5 points. And the winner of the Dragula Season 666 draft is me. Yay.
Work.
I had my girl and I had my down under girl. And I said, these are my bitches. Mm-hmm. Hold them tight to my chest. And Yuri may not have done much, but I'll take it.
Hey, I think you were the only one that had 2 people going in before the finale. So it was like, it helps. Yeah. It helped.
Yeah. Asia also had by far the most points of this season. She ended with 40 points. So
work.
And second was Gray with 29, and then Auntie with 28. So
see, it makes me so mad. It's originally the team that I would have wanted, but I was not able to get because people were drafted already. Was my team was going to be Auntie and Gray. I was like, I still wouldn't have won, but bitch, I wouldn't have been in 4th.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, having one whole team member just completely quit, maybe be like, are you fucking see? It was not a good day that the episode came out. I said some very mean things to Majesty in the comfort of my living room. Other people did not hear them, but yeah, it was very much like, you mother.
Beep, 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 beep. And also beep, 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 beep,
with an alcoholic hand, bitch.
Oh my God.
And that is the perfect way to close out this season. Thank you for joining us for a wild season of Dragula. We will be back with probably Titans 2, because the Boulets did everything but subtly mention that Titans. So, hey, I'm excited. And if it means we get more Gray Matter and more Jaharia and maybe some more Blackberry.
Yes.
And some more JK.
Maybe some Sigourney.
And some Sigourney. Pull Louisiana Purchase out.
Yes.
We'll have to do that.
Yeah, I think we should. Where's Foxy Ajoué? That's who I want.
You're doing too much.
Thank you for joining us for this finale recap. Let us know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Who do y'all want to see on Titans 2? Let us know those thoughts in the comments below as well. And make sure to check out the description where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, our Patreon, our social media, and where you can get your merch, including but not limited to cup mug. And now Eve can do the outro with her cup mug, period. And with all that being said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. So cheers, uglies.
Yeah.